Hello and happy Friday, and welcome everybody to another episode of our podcast Living in the Miracle. And it's me, Irina Portnova, coming along with my guest, Nabil Tabet. Nabil, welcome, and tell a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Irina. How are you? It's nice to see you. Always now. Well, I'm here. It's amazing. I've been thinking about these podcasts and how they're created and how would I do something like that. And it happened. That's one of the little miracles that we've been talking about.
Mhm.
So, in a nutshell, I met you, oh my goodness, it was probably 2006, 2007. And then I went on a separate journey for quite some time. Then I appeared again in 2014. I said, hello, Irina, what's going on? Da 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 da. Then disappeared again, new life. And one day I said, let me see what's going on with Irina. And that was, I think sometimes last week. And no, actually a couple of weeks ago, and you responded back. And to my amazement, I saw a new version of Irina. Not that the Irina that I knew wasn't, have it all, but you're like a flower that just bloomed. It was amazing. So I want to share a little bit about myself with all of this work that Irina, she does. So in 2017, I was going through stuff, and Mary Morrison had an ad on YouTube. So I did one of her online version of the workshop that she does, or the what do you call them? It's just a presentation of like a summary of the whole presentation. So and I liked what she had to say, and I bought the program, and I tried to do it on my own. And then I was approached by Mary Morrison agents or helpers if I want to go to the second step, and I declined it. Even though that I used probably, I would say, a couple of lessons only. The first two lessons, they're very powerful, and I was able to manifest the house that I'm living in. By the way, that's not the background of my house. That's a virtual one. And I'm looking at it, I said, maybe in the future, I will make this space happen, and even better. So anyway,
And we are gonna do it together, right, Nabil?
Yeah.
I'm gonna help you to manifest it. And Toby,
Yeah.
I just wanted to say hello to Toby. She always comes, and sometimes she part of our talks, and I love her energy. Hello, Toby, and
Hi, Toby.
welcome.
Yeah. So anyway, I did the first two lessons, and I just gave it a try, buying a house, or living in a house. And at that time, we didn't need an additional house. The house was okay where we were living, but I always wanted to live in a stone house because I grew up in the mountains. And I didn't do too much visualization, how it's going to look from the inside. So there was a house in the neighborhood, and I will go on Google and look at it, and and then the opportunity came, like a miracle. The house went on the market, and I jumped right into it, and I got the house. So the story goes more into details, but I know we don't have enough time for sharing the details. So that was the first miracle. Now I used some of her concepts on a daily basis, and sometimes, whenever I needed it, the intention, clearing the mind, allowing the universe to manifest, and I'm a believer that these things definitely happen. I believe that for a flower to unfold, there has to be like a container for that flower that will works its way out into that web, invisible web, and that's all the energy. That Mary Morrison and a lot of the gurus, they talk about that. So anyway, so the story, how did I reconnect with Irina? So I have no idea that Irina has had interest in this. I mean, you always appeared a lively, beautiful person, big heart. You have the capability to connect to people and just help them to come out of their shell and talk to you. So, but I never thought that, in a million years that we crossed path with Mary Morrison. So when I sent you that message and you replied back and you said, hey, listen, I'm doing this great thing. Life is good, da 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 da. And of course, I had to make sure that I'm talking to Irina. So I said, okay, so if that's you, call me or something before I click on the link. So we connected, and I clicked on the link, and I asked Irina, "What is this? What's behind this?" And then I told you, I said, "Do you know Mary Morrison?" And he said, "Yeah, what is this one all about?" I said, "Oh my goodness!" So I'm happy to have reconnected with you, Irina, because I think it's a confirmation from the universe, that miracles do happen, and of course I have something to share with you about what happened yesterday. It was amazing.
Can I just pause you for a second, because there is like something I want to brew more and kind of come up to that outcome. First of all, Nabil, it's amazing that we reconnected, right? And like I said, there are no coincidences in the universe. It's like everything is already designed and planned by the intelligence of the universe. And a lot of times, because we, from our human nature, we see just, like a little tiny hole out of it, right? But the universe has the entire picture. So sometimes when the situation happen in our life, we think that, oh, this is the coincidence, right? But actually everything has its meaning, right? And when we reconnected, when we were on the phone, and I started to share with you what I'm doing, I was very impressed that you actually knew something about the law of attraction and how the manifestation works. Because majority of the people, 99% of the people that I have conversation with, especially like from my surroundings, people do not have the idea what this is all about. So once I started to share with you and you said, oh, you know what, I took the class with Mary Morrison. I'm like, what? I got certified by her, right? And that's like, you can't make up these things. It's just like universe actually connect the right people together. And then I said, Nabil, you have to come to this workshop that I'm hosting, right? And you came into that workshop, and tell a little bit to people what this workshop is all about, because I constantly invite people and I continue inviting, because I just want to spread that awareness that there is no lack in the universe. It's the lack of our awareness.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, basically, it's about the workshop that you do. I'm trying to put the right words to it, because there's Mary Morrison, the information, and then there is us, the conduits, the channel. However, the information, the purity of the information can be not threatened, but can be manipulated by the container. Container is not ready or or it's not pure. So the one thing I would say, this is a challenge for anybody who puts a system. I don't want to get too much about religion and all of that because it's a sensitive subject. But I believe all religions are good, all systems are good. But it's not the word, it's how it's delivered. So Mary Morrison has that word, and sometimes, it's up to that particular individual how they present it. And I think you perfected the presentation, and I know what I'm talking about because I watch a lot of kind of this stuff. I watch like Joe Dispenza, what's his name? This
right
on Gaia. I watched him several times. It's funny that you mentioned him the other day, and you said the story. I know about the story. So you have the capabilities to deliver the information exactly. Like a laser vision. It hits you. Like that story that Mary Morrison says in the first lesson, which I like, the guy that goes to the teller and says, cash me the check, and the person's saying, oh, you have to sign from the back and give it back to me, and I'll give you the money. And the teller says, hey, but wait a second, you can take that money and put it in your pocket, And he goes to the second bank and third bank and fourth bank, and he's getting the same thing, and fear is overwhelming the person. And then the bat comes from the last tower and say, give me that damn check, or sign right here and give me the check. So it took a hit on the head for the person. And I think also the ability to wake up people from the dream that they're in to dream, to manifest their dream. So that's the kind of work you I think, Irina, you are doing, and you're good at, is the delivery part. It's amazing. I like the whole setup. It's very easy. I even wanted to learn how to do this. Like, it's like amazing.
I love it. I love it. And Nabil, I just wanted to point out that how quickly you made the decision from the workshop to come and be part of the program and to be coached. What really made you do that? Because remember, as we were going back, like you took Mary's program, and then when you were invited to continue, you said no. What made you to say yes this time?
Well, I had the finances to do it at that time, but I was apprehensive, like, oh my God, I'm going to spend this much money to do this. I can do this on my own. I just bought this, and so forth. But I was missing the guru part of this thing. I studied Indian philosophy, and they say the word guru means the person, I think, who takes the veil off or brings you to the light. Okay, so we all need some kind of help, especially in something that we're not. I'm not gonna say we're not experienced in the physical body with it. If we can do it, that means we're capable and it's there. But we need somebody to assure us, like a child is being assured by their parent. So the guru, same thing. So for me to find the right person, I think it took this time. Not that the person that I was talking to at Mary Morrison, she wasn't helpful. No. She was an amazing person. She was a great facilitator. I still remember the time, and when she was talking to me, okay, I'll give you time to make the decision and so forth. But as time passes by, we get caught up with the paradigm, with the thought process, and it's all fear-based. That same voice followed me after I signed with you. But you asked me the question, what made me sign, is that I lost a lot of money since that time, making wrong decisions, investment financially. or I spend it where I don't really need it. So, and when I was making the decision with you, I said, you know what? I'm gonna take that beating on my head right now. That same expression, like somebody has to beat me on the head, which I did it to myself, and I said, no, you gotta do this. And maybe knowing you and knowing the connection, and also being impressed to the improvement that you did in your life. It's like amazing, amazing where you were and where you're at right now. And it's not like it's bad where we were, or I'm bad or something, but like Buddha also, I think he said it, Buddhism, for example, it's not about changing. I'm not a Buddhist, by the way. However, I like I said, I listen to many different philosophies, and I take great tools the same way I'm doing right now with Mary Morrison. So Buddha said, Buddhism is not about changing us. It's about taking the version of us and making it better, And that's what I feel about the program that Mary Morrison does, And that's what I saw in you, Like, you didn't change, by the way, you're still looking younger. It's amazing, like you get younger.
Thank you.
So
that's the beauty, Nabil, of the inner work. When we work on ourselves, we can manifest anything, right? And we are glowing from within. And then, you know what? The beauty of this work is, once you start changing, people are going to feel it from you, right? It's not necessarily that it's showing up right away in the physical, but your energy is actually upgrading, and people energetically are going to feel you, and you'll notice people are going to ask, something is different about you. What are you doing, right? What are you up to? Because people get drawn to your magnetic energy. That's exactly what happened when we start elevating our vibration and we start really being on that higher frequency. We start attracting the opportunities. We start attracting the people into our space. And the people around us really see these big shifts and changes in us. And they also want these changes for themselves.
Yeah. So definitely, I would. By the way, listeners, Irina doesn't pay me anything, and I refuse to take a penny to say this. I'm excited for her, and I'm excited for anybody who's listening, because I love people. We're all human beings. We're all brothers and sisters, and it's the greatest joy of a father to see his kids prosper. And as a brother and a friend to the world, I invite you for this great journey, because you will definitely benefit. I'm not gonna say I wish, because resentment or guilt or all of that doesn't work in this particular universe. It just pulls you further down in the spot, and you don't want to move, and you want to get rid of all of that and just jump right in, and don't be afraid of taking the risk to discover your true essence, which is, it's you're doing a favor for yourself and to the society, to the universe. Every time we create something here, it's just like a pebble. When you drop a stone in the water and creates those pebbles, so it travels all over. And it's been proven, by physics. Whatever on the inside is on the outside. So why not manifest the best of the best for yourself? So I invite everybody to book a session with Irina, and take her offer of the free workshop that she does, because it's amazing. Look, if you don't want to do the whole program, if you take like one tool, I'm sure that little tool, it will rock your universe, because I mean, I don't know. I will let you talk, Irina, because I really want to share the little miracle that happened
Yes,
uh,
yes,
yesterday. I mean, that's like Wednesday we had the lesson, and
yes.
Thursday something manifested, just like
Can you
that.
share? Can you share that story of the
How
lesson,
about you
because
share
this
your
is so
story?
important? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So this is like I'm telling you, I'm so grateful for you, and this is where you get the kick and the joy out of life, when you start receiving these miracles and they just keep coming to you, and all you do is just welcoming them, right? So Nabil came to my workshop. He loved the presentation and he believed in everything what has to be said, and he booked the session, and we went on this beautiful journey of self-discovery, and we are doing the program, and Nabil is going to report afterwards, how the progress goes. So you are coming back on the episode to describe what changes are really happening for you. But the thing is that we had our first welcome class, and in that welcome class, Mary shares the story about the fisherman. And I'm going to briefly share that story because a lot of people do not know that. So the fisherman goes for to fish, and he sees another fisherman, the older fisherman. And that fisherman is pulling the fish one after another, one after another. But he takes a big fish, he measures against some kind of stick, and if the fish is bigger than the stick, he just tosses it back into the water. So the fisherman that is watching everything and thinking to himself, what's wrong with this guy? Like, why would he throw back that fish, right? Is it because, like they are bony, or maybe there is some kind of protection of the environment that you're not supposed to catch the big fish? So he comes to him and he's asking, he said, I'm just looking at you and I see that you're so fortunate because you're just pulling one fish after another fish. Like, but why do you throw the big fish back into the water? And the guy tells him, look at this stick. The size of this stick is the size of my frying pan. So each time I measure the fish against my stick, and if the stick is shorter than that fish, I'm just tossing that fish back. And we are laughing because ideally we know we would be happy to have the bigger fish. We know how to fit it in the frying pan, right? But the idea is that the frying pan is actually our beliefs and our life that we are used to it, right? And the big fish represents the idea that just comes to us. And sometimes we receive these amazing ideas. Like I said, ideas are the first currency from the universe, because you can receive $1 idea or you can receive $1 million idea, and it's all about acting on these ideas. So when the idea comes to us, it's not gonna fit into our frying pan, and what happens to us, we start comparing, we're looking for our outside circumstances. We are starting to question, what does my bank account tell me I can do? What is my age telling me that I can do? What my education tells me what I can do? And we measure what we can do based on our circumstances or conditions. But the beauty is that once you understand how this works, you understand that all you have to have is the desire, the burning desire to have something amazing that you're entitled to have for your life, and to make the decision. Because each time you make a decision, it propels you on a specific pathway, right? And we already determined that successful people make quick decisions because they know what they want, and they are not allowing anything to stand on their way. They just go after something that they want, no matter the time, no matter the funds or anything else, right? So Nabil, as you were sharing, and I just love your story, like you said that a couple of years ago you decided not to continue growing, right? And you saw what it cost you, right? It cost you time and it cost you money. And that's exactly how a lot of people are caught up, because they say, you know what, I'll do it later. But later, the time is coming. And when we talk about people who already have the system, right? Coaches need coaches. Like, as Nabil said, you always want to have somebody by your side who has more knowledge and who can take you places where you can take years to travel, right? So the idea is that we all want to have somebody, either mentor or the coach, somebody, because all successful people have the mentors. Nobody does it alone. Okay, they might not advertise it for the public to know, but I reassure you, each person, they never did it alone. They had somebody by their side. And what's the beauty of this work? Because time is something that you cannot buy, right?
Mhm.
Time is something that is precious. So if you really want to partner with somebody rather than just, like bumping yourself, like and going blindfolded and see whatever works, whatever doesn't work, you want to partner with somebody who already have the structure of support, who already has the system for you laid out, right? For somebody who can take you from where you are to where you want to be with a shorter period of time, because even money cannot buy the time. So time is the most valuable asset we all have. And just, before making any decisions in the future, just think about it twice. What does that mean for you? How long do you want to continuously experiences this, adversity, or sitting and complaining that life is not fair to you, rather than just make a decision and jump on something and start really creating your life?
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Yeah, thank.
Nabil, yes.
Yeah, I'm going back to the fisherman because that was the first thing that I heard from Mary Morrison, which you channel, right? That's one of the recordings that we heard in that first workshop that we did, not the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday I was working on my car, on my driveway, and the kids, they're off school, so I have an 8-year-old daughter, uh, so taking care of her. So she comes outside, and she's trying to help me with the car, and I'm fixing the brakes on the car, challenging myself with it. That's another story. But um, I looked at her. I said, "Do you want me to put in the little pool that we have? It's a baby pool. I mean, she's 8 years old, and she will have fun in it." So she says, "Daddy, it's broken." I said, "That pool is broken?" I said, I saw it yesterday and it was okay." She says, "No, no, no, it's broken." I said, "Wait a second. I think maybe we have two pools, two little pools." And I assure you that we have another one. So we walked over to the shed and we found the second one, and there was one broken. So we took the working one. She was so excited, what's coming next and so forth. So I bring it, put it on the driveway, go get an umbrella because it was, nice and sunny yesterday. Chair and a table, and she went and got her dolls and little things to play with. We filled the. It's about, I would say, 2 feet wide or 3 feet wide, and about like a foot, okay, deep. So I mean, I'm thinking that how she's gonna have fun in this pool. It's so small and so forth. So I filled the pool with water. She sat in it, and everything was fine. And then I went about doing my work, and I'm looking at her, enjoying her, having fun, and talking to her dolls, and all of those magical moments, magical world that she's living in. So I came back to her one of the moments, and I looked at her, was taking a breather, and I said, "Would you like to have a bigger pool like we put in the yard?" And I'm not against, but we have a good size yard, and for several years living here, wanted to put a pool in the back, and I didn't, for reasons. Then I thought about putting a pool above ground or something for her to enjoy, and we can enjoy as well. So, and it wasn't happening. Okay. So yesterday I said, would you like to, a little pool in the backyard? She says, oh yes, that would be great. And right away, I start imagining, you know, and I wasn't doing Mary Morrison stuff, but I was thinking about the story, of the fisherman.
About the frying pan.
The frying pan, okay? I was just thinking about it, and I'm not connecting the two together, okay? I'm not. And I might have had a conversation, I believe, with somebody that same day about this story, not the story of the pool, but the story of the frying pan. So here I am, I'm thinking about the pool, where I'm gonna put it, where there's a flat surface, and so forth. So the day passes by, and I didn't think about buying it or anything. I'm just thinking about the pool, putting it and imagining it. So my Maya, she goes out with her mom to the store. And it was probably around, oh yeah, I remember, it was like around 5 o'clock. So I started working probably around 2 o'clock, on the project. So that's 3 hours later, okay? 3 hours later. So I'm wrapping it up, and something happened. I had to stop, with my work. And I'm cleaning up, and then my neighbor, he comes into my driveway, and he's trying to help me with whatever I was looking for something, and he was, trying to help me. He says, oh, can I help you with this and this and this? Very nice neighbor. So, so the next thing he says to me, he says, look, I have a pool, an inflatable pool, in my shed. I never used it, and I want to get rid of it, and he was apprehensive, about talking, telling me, I think,
about offering, yes.
Yeah, about the offer, because maybe he's a little bit shy or whatever. I sensed it, and I started laughing within myself, like, what did he just said? A pool? Then he says, oh yeah, it's a 12-foot wide and 3 feet deep. Okay, so from 2 times what? Times 6. So it widened. So all I have to say is yes. So he thought that I don't want it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what are you gonna do with it? And maybe it's a trouble for you to inflate it and put it in your yard. And I looked at him and started laughing. I said, yes, I'll take it. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like I'm saying it's for free, or, I could have went and bought the same thing, and, I'm able to get it. But the thing is, the little pan, it expanded. Mm-hmm. And the way it expanded is by changing the paradigm in my mind that I've been working on just for a day, So, and I was a little bit upset, not upset, but jokingly upset, saying like, maybe I should have thought about, $1 billion or whatever, you know what I mean? Or, the dream of my life, the person that resonates with my energy, and like a partner, that's I'm imagining in my mind. So, so that was an amazing experience. So he went and he brought the barrel with something else, and I thought, and I'm still thinking that he needs money for it, because he says, oh yeah, this is a customer, he gave it to me, he's a wholesaler. He does stuff with wholesale, I guess, and other things. So that's one of his vendors gave him this box, and he took it. But he doesn't have little kids anymore, and it's sitting in his shed, and he's trying to clean up. Um, so he's telling me like, yeah, he was asking for money. I mean, not for the stuff, and I understood him wrong. And I said, "Oh, I'll pay you something for." It. He says, "No, no, no. What are you talking about? I'm telling you about something else. This is for you, for you." And here you go. This is a wow. It's a little wow. Just by changing little bit in my subconscious, the universe provided a bigger concept for me, and it was physical. Like how much I have to tell you, the little pan, which is the little pool, became a big pool, the bigger pan.
And it happens so quick, right, Nabil?
So quick. So whoever is listening and following this, I invite you to take the chance and to start believing, and believing, and it's a mindset. Of course, it's a mindset, because there's stuff going on behind that belief, because there's your belief system that will probably hinder any kind of energy that's coming through to you. It's filtering all of these possibilities in the universe, and all you have to do is change your mindset, change your angle looking at things, and then change the filtration system, clean it up. And then the clean energy will start coming in. And then you'll be able to shape up your great ideas, your dreams, whatever it is. So, and it's very interesting because we're talking about swimming pools and water, and water is H2O. It's hydrogen and oxygen, so it's all cleansing. The clarity, and you go into the swimming pool, it cleanses your body, that energy of the water. I don't think so. It will get purer than that.
Oh my God, Nabil, thanks so much for sharing. And Bruno, thanks for joining us. And Bruno is supporting you. And yeah, that's beautiful. But you know what, Nabil, I just wanted to say, sometimes we think that it takes time. Yes, for some people, it takes time to reprogram their mind and really start manifesting, right? But for some people, it happens instantly, right? Yeah. So the idea is that once we are vibrating at a certain frequency, we start attracting everything on that frequency, right? And I just wanted to wrap up our conversation with my personal story that I just had. And Bruno says that you're awesome. Yay! Love it. Yeah. Thank you, Bruno. So I wanted to wrap up with my story again. Remember, what we focus our mind on tends to expand, right? So let's just shift our focus from the problems and issues to the land of solution and saying, hey, we are living in a miracle. And once we invite these miracles into our life, and once we are staying in the receiving mode, that's exactly when the miracles just, come to us every day and in every way. So my story, I love sour cherry.
Yeah.
And now
this is cherries too, by the way, that day.
Yes, woo-hoo. And now it's the season for them, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking last weekend, I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna go to the farm and we are gonna gather some sour cherries. I call up the farm and they said, you better rush up because they almost all picked already. And I was like, oh my God, did I just miss the boat? And I knew that if I'm not going to eat it this season, I would have to wait till next summer. And this is not something that, really lays well with me, right? So we go into the farm next day, believe it or not. They said, oh, okay, we just have the leftover in the store. If you go right now, there is nothing on the trees. And I was like, why did we even travel? So we bought whatever was already in the store. And as I'm home, I'm enjoying. And I tell to my dad, I said, you know what? We still have to buy more because this is not satisfying. I have to like experience the fullness that, like I really tasted it. So yesterday we were in the store with my dad, and I'm picking up my phone, and I see that on the Facebook, the Facebook, one of the messages shows up, and there is a lady in Washington D.C. who sells the boxes of sour cherry, and I was
Wow.
like, yay, that's what I want to do. I call her up, and she tells me, I'm sorry, we are not shipping out, it's only for the
Oh.
local. And I was like, okay, it is what it is, right? But I keep my focus. I must have my cherries, right? Yeah,
Awesome.
like that's exactly what happens with manifestation. You cannot take no for the answer.
Mhm.
You have to keep pushing and doing, right? So that evening, I see another Facebook feed, whatever comes to my place, to my phone, and it
Mhm.
says 7 miles from my house, they're gonna sell the sour cherries on July 10th.
Wow.
But please pre-order the box of the sour cherry, right? I'm going for the box, right? Like I kid you not. So
Yeah.
I'm picking up the phone, and I phoned that guy, and like he said, yes, we are gonna be there. So I
Mhm.
said, please, have that box available for me. And I'm just thinking to myself, you know what? The universe always listens to us. And sometimes, like when we are not care enough to really know what exactly is going on in our head, and sometimes that negativity that we keep repeating, that's exactly what we are bringing forward into our manifestation, into our physical reality, right? So the idea is that our energy is very potent, and if you keep the focus on something that you want, you start receiving that information, right? No matter what it is. So the idea is just really, really understand how our energy works. And to understand it better, come to my workshop, because that's going to be the time when you really learn how this all comes to the place together, and you really experience that this is the real thing.
Mhm.
Our energy is real. It's always creating something, but then again, we can consciously create something. We can learn how to command our brain to create something that we want, rather than just taking the life by chance and allow the things happen in our life, right? Again, we cannot control everything, but a lot of things we can actually direct our energy in the desired outcome. So
Yeah.
that's the story. That's the story that I wanted to share.
Wow.
And I said, yes.
Wow. Wow. I want to say something. You said something about control. And this is an interesting, really quick. And I think I said it last time. The bird of paradise doesn't alight, doesn't come down on a hand that grasps.
Mhm.
And again, to the concept of water, like what do you want to have? A pond that has still water, or you want a river that's flowing through with fresh water. So the same thing. The energy is. I'm not gonna say it's not to be trapped and held. The energy is to be shared, is to be used to create stuff,
Mhm.
and I don't think so. It's the control. It's just the beauty of the manifestation, how you dance with the energy. So it's not anymore a control. It's just you're dancing with the energy. The energy is happy showing up for you, and you're happy to be around the energy. And it's reflecting whatever is going on inside of you. So you have a nice story to share. That's what the world is going to respond back with beautiful
Mhm.
music. Yeah, and if a person is sad, that's what that mirror is going to show, a sad person. Um, so the control is I like to use the word regulate. Regulation instead of control. Control, like to me it sounds like harsh. somebody is controlling you, or a
Right.
control freak. But regulation is more like being, I'm not going to say politically correct, but you're working, you're working to resolve the problem, than creating another one. So Irina, thank you for the opportunity, and thank you. This is, I think, my first ever,
Yeah, podcast, right?
Yeah. Wow.
It just happened, like, just instantly, right? I said, Nabil,
Yeah.
would you like to come for the podcast? And Nabil comes. He's like, that's exactly how we have to be in life. We
Yeah.
have to take the
Spontaneous.
opportunities, because
Yeah. Spontaneous.
otherwise we're gonna miss them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I had experiences with that stuff too. Somebody that I know likes planning everything, and yeah, I'm all about planning. Planning is good, but also you gotta allow a little bit for the universe to plan for you. You know, um, and believing in the universe. A lot of us, they have the wrong idea, like it's a hostile place. Everything is dying, everything is it's sad, but it's not like that. Anyway,
Mhm. It
I'll leave
was
it up to you.
amazing. Yes. Thank you so much for being a
Thank you.
guest. Bruno, thanks so much for joining. And Toby as well. We appreciate you. We love you. And Nabil, we are going to update people as you go through the course, and let's discover more miracles that are happening. But again, if we allow and welcome those miracles, they are always coming to us, regardless whether, we plan for something or we expect or not. If you just keep your mind open for the possibilities are gonna come to you. Thank you so much, Bruno, for tuning in.
Thank you.
And everybody,
Thank you, Irina.
join the workshop, experience for yourself, so you know for yourself if this is for you or not. Because the only way we can determine is just experience it, and then we can make the decision if this is for you or not. Till next week, have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. And Nabil, again, thanks for joining. And everybody, thanks for watching, and have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye.
Buddy.